Unlike the video that I made yesterday, I I actually wrote kind of like a script of stuff that I wanted to talk about, and it involved basically my life, and it was supposed to be sort of an analysis of perhaps I could look at my own mind and then extrapolate out from that um, other psychological principles. But honestly, about halfway through writing it, I just realized that it was pretty fucking narcissistic of me to even write about myself, because I'm not important. Um, the only thing that I want to talk about is the idea of the logos, because this came up at the beginning. Um, what is the logos? So there are many different aspects to the logos, because it's sort of a catch-all term. I'm sure if you were in ancient Greece and somebody invoked that, right, you would have an understanding of what it could possibly mean, but it doesn't necessarily mean any one thing, right? But one way that I look at the logos is that it's the totality of a relationship, which I'll get to. So imagine that somebody has an idea in their mind, right? This idea, it's sitting there, and there's almost a compulsion where the idea has to enter into somebody else's mind, right? So it's in my head. I want to put it in somebody else's head. But is it really me, or is it the idea? There's some woo-woo stuff, I guess you talk about that. But basically, if the idea if I have to put that idea into somebody else's head, then the act of me manifesting the idea in speech to then give to the other person, right? That's creating a bridge, essentially, with the idea as the cargo. So the totality of that scenario where I have, point A, point B, a bridge, and then the cargo moving through, the idea, the totality of that I see as the logos. The building of the bridge is an act of the logos, but the logos itself would be the totality of that. And there is something sacred about the communication of ideas. There's something truly unique about that. And so when Christ is the logos embodied, right, the idea is that he would be the human embodiment of the transmission of ideas, and this there's something sacred and holy about it, where if somebody is giving forward evil cargo, right, if somebody has a bad idea or an evil idea and they're casting it out, a demonic idea, and they're casting it out to other people, right, the means by which they are casting out that idea, those means are still holy, those means are still sacred and beautiful, because it's the framework itself is the beauty, right? Which is why I associate the logos as the totality rather than the act, because I can make a moral judgment upon the act and say he's doing it for XYZ reason, and those reasons are bad. Therefore, the act is bad. The logos is bad. It's like, no. The logos is the totality of the framework. The act can be bad, right? The cargo can be bad if somebody's doing that. Try and put negative ideas into somebody else's head. But ultimately, the framework is still good. There's still something unique and special, and I think cosmically significant about it. And then, like I said, Christ would be like the physical manifestation of that. That's all I wanted to say. There's another thing that I could talk about, which was a very interesting dream that I had. But I'm going to save that probably for another day. The rest of the stuff was just like my life leading up to this point. But like I said, I'd rather talk about ideas, because those actually matter more than I do. So, Jubilo Hannigan out.